need to refill my mag. Eat that move. Come on, come on. No way, you're frozen, you're frozen. Dude, I think... All right, guys, so here we are, right? My actual build video on my Technomancer Endgame tier 15 build. Here we go, ready, and it's called a Cosmic Winter, right? Because we got a few things going on throughout the build and stuff like that, so let's just go ahead and let's just talk right into it. I don't want to spend too long going over everything, so let's just go ahead and get right into it. So first things first, we'll just go ahead and look at the skill tree and everything that we got going on. So we're going to be going into the pestilence side of things. So this build is obviously going to be focusing with heavy damage from the blight rounds, close-up damage from enemies, and constant AoE freezing, controlling the ads, making sure they are not constantly in your face, on you, pushing you back, and helping you get control of the field. So with that, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be obviously having exposing toxin along with marked for execution to provide vulnerability, and then 40% effectiveness added to that vulnerability, with our toxic being spread around anyways, which is obviously very good. And then down here we just got stuff that helps out our toxic overall, especially with this setup, bro. We're going to be destroying and spreading toxic. We're going to be freezing everything. It's just going to be very good. We don't use any snipers in this setup, so don't even worry about getting nitrogen capsules. Do not worry about getting sniper adept. Do not worry about getting sniper master. Instead, focus on assault adept and assault master as well. Unfortunately, you do have to get sharpshooter in order to get to the 14 clips to get that extra mag size, which is very sweet. And then we do have purge, which is very good for our toxic blight rounds, which is obviously very nice. We also have blue screen, which is very good just for some sustainability, and then we also have two sides of the power. Then we have a little bit of anomaly damage. So let's go ahead and head over into the actual gear side of things. Oh, let me show you all the skills. So the skills that we are using are going to be blight rounds, cold snap, and the blighted turret, but you'll see that the blighted turret's actually more of a cryo aspect rather than an actual blight turret, which is pretty cool. So let's go ahead and look at the armor first. So we have our helmet here. The main thing that our helmet is doing for us, it is providing the ability to turn our blight turret into a cryo turret, which is obviously going to be very nice. The way this thing works is that it shoots exactly how it would normally, but it's cryo instead, which makes it a little bit more useful for AoE types of situations than the cryo turret. Plus, with the setup that we have and the skill point that we have, we also have power of Sour of Decay, which gives us a bit increased cooldown on our blight turret over our cryo turret, which is a reason why that we are using the blight turret in itself. Along with that, we have a very useful endgame mod that is part of the reason that y'all see this little shockwave here and there throughout me just like standing here chilling is it's the seismic impulse mod, which is what we're using. This is what I'm saying for close range survivability. We're going to be freezing things, we're going to be in enemies' faces, and then combine seismic impulse with our Roaring Umbra's kinetic stomp. We're just going to be sending out shockwaves right near us to get those pesky melee enemies, those pesky alphas off of us, and really take control of the battlefield. With that, is very useful having seismic impulse just overall. So then we're also rocking a trio set here of the Plague Sowers, right, or Sowers, however you want to Sowers, I'm so dumb. Yeah, the Plague Sower armor set. So we do get the mod, which is Plague Sower. Upon applying toxic status, gain 5% damage reduction for 5 second stacks up, which is going to be very nice for keeping us alive and well. I have changed a little bit on some of these, like, so you know how these will drop with like double blight round perks. These are how you get like the tier 3 mods for armor, is through the legendary sets that have them, and the plagues is what has the blighted rounds, which is obviously very good for what we're going around here and what we're using. It's going to be very, very nice. Along with that, I did decide to go ahead and throw on emergency stance, which is very useful for sustainability. Once again, not allowing you to die, making sure that you staying up. Emergency stance is very useful, especially if you get like double meleeed really fast or something like that. This will activate, give you a good amount of, I believe it's 65% damage reduction, which on top of that, with your toxic ability, is going to allow you to pretty consistently wall, along with the gear, the actual weapons that we're going to be using. You're going to see what I'm talking about. It's just overall very useful to have. Along with that, we are going to have the pants, or the trousers as they're called in this game, and we do have the spare mag, which is very, very important whenever you are using anomaly based builds. Having that extra round of anomaly, or that extra mag of anomaly rounds, is very, very useful. And then I did decide to go ahead and throw on rejuvenation here. So if you do not have rejuvenation, I believe the other one is death mitigation. It's yeah, mitigation from death is another replacement for rejuvenation if you don't have it. However, I like this mod a lot because it's going to give us firepower, anomaly power, and armor for 8 seconds whenever our health is replenished. Being on a Technomancer, yeah, you're going to be getting health replenished so consistently. You're basically going to have this up at all times because it's for 8 seconds with only a 10-second cooldown, which is very, very useful. Along with that, we do have the gloves, or the hands, and this dropped with Euthanizer. I'm sorry, English is hard. Deal 25% more damage against enemies afflicted by toxic. Once again, this is very useful with what we're going for. You already know what I'm picking up. You're picking up what I'm putting down. You're loving it. You got it. It's really good. Along with that, we do have the tier 1 trick up the sleeve, which is going to grant 30% of our mag back to us whenever we get kills, which is obviously very, very good. Combine that with the spare mag. Honestly, those two is the core of running infinite blight round builds, so keep that in mind. These are very crucial mods to have, and if anytime you can get a piece of armor to drop with one of those mods, I would honestly keep that and then change the other slot for something else, because just having that pre-dropped on there is very nice, because it's going to allow you for other flexibility. Because once again, guys, you have to understand, whenever you put a mod slot, when you change it, it's locked. That's the only spot you can change it. So for instance, this helmet right here, it dropped with the ice component tier 1 mod, and then I put seismic impulse on it. And if I was to go to Dr. Zahida over here and go to crafted, you're going to see that I can only change the tier 2 slot of it, which is obviously kind of important to know. So if we go to mod gear, you'll see that the ice component is locked on it. It dropped on here, and since I changed the tier 2 one, I can only change the tier 2 one from here on out. Basically just emphasizing that if you can get something to drop for you with the blight round mod, is the blight round mod, or anything for your skills already on there, is going to be very, very useful, and you can apply a tier 2, tier 3, or another tier 1 mod in the other slot. So that's very important to mention. Just figure I would go ahead and mention that, because that is kind of important. Then let's go ahead and go down to the boots here, right? So Oh yeah, I didn't mention. Yeah, I did mention that. Okay, cool. So here's our boots. Basically, our boots do provide extra crit damage to our bladder rounds, which is obviously very, very useful. And we do have damage absorber, a very good mod. If you have plate dodge, that would also be very good here. Once again, mitigation from death also works here. Any mods that can give yourself armor is going to be very useful, as well as anomaly power is also going to be very useful. So just keep that in mind. That's really all you're really looking for here, at least in my opinion, is just a couple mods to get some armor, some sustainability mods such as emergency stance, and then we do have seismic impulse to like, yo, get the fuck off me, you know what I'm saying? And then we have rejuvenation, which will basically be up almost all times, which is also very, very good. So then let's actually go ahead and talk about our weapons here. So yeah, my Roaring Umbra that we did a showcase on a couple days ago is proving its worth here, and this is very, very, very powerful. So we just go ahead and look at the details on here. This is one of the mods that I actually went ahead and fully maxed out the shards on, maxed out the armor piercing, the status power, and the close range damage. We have 100 clip size. Golly, I'm bad at English. And since we have huge, basically UT14 clips, we're going to get 50% extra bonus in our mag. So we're basically going to be sitting at 150. Any LMG that you can get that's north of 200, or actually anything that's north of 150 is, I would say, the bare minimum for a setup like this in an LMG. So keep that in mind. If you have an LMG that's on the lower end of that, you're going to be reloading more than you'd like. So just keep that in mind. Along with that, I would say the most important mod for this setup is going to be Winter Blast. The reason why this mod is so important is that it's going to freeze enemies within a 4-meter radius every time we get a crit. This is how we are constantly freezing enemies, stonewalling them, while we have our kinetic stomp and our seismic impulse constantly sending out shockwaves. So while we're freezing enemies and while they're trying to jump and melee us, especially those godforsaken alphas, we're going to be sending constant shockwaves away from them, and we're going to be freezing them pretty consistently. Now, I will mention that Blood Mothers can be a little bit annoying. Still, they are, because they resist cryo consistently. But if you can freeze them and just start pumping them in the crit spot, you're going to be doing some pretty decent damage overall. Honestly, the way you got to play with this build, you guys, especially when you are going up against a boss, specifically a Blood Mother, a Brood Queen, anything like that, make sure you leave a few like trash mobs aside, like the basic like pyrophos, so that you can just easily kill them and proc your 30%. Oh wait, here it is. Your 30% bullet return to your magazine, so you can fill your mag back up and continue pelting the Blood Mother. That's the most effective method I found with this setup. And then once you get them low and start closing in, that's when you can get your seismic impulse, your kinetic stomp on that action going on, and just get rid of them. And that's what I have found to work pretty consistently. Now, if you don't have the Roaring Umbra, any LMG should work well, especially if you get the Winter Blast. Real quick, let's go ahead and go over some replacement mods. If you do not have those, we can go over some other options, because obviously, you know, not everyone's going to have had an iceberg drop for them, and they're not going to have that mod. So let's just go ahead. No, once again, obviously, Winter Blast is what I put on there. So tier 1 mods, honestly, if you want to get an anomaly based one like mod, you can. Clip of Althea is actually pretty good to further synergize with your crit damage and not losing bullets in your magazine size. Is pretty useful, although I would say Brain Eater is obviously going to be a little better for obvious reasons, because it's guaranteed not to consume ammo, which is obviously really good. Fireworks is a really good tier 1 mod, I would say. And then I mean, Critical Point's okay, but I wouldn't really like heavily recommend it. Once again, there's Brain Eater that we're talking about. Honestly, if you have Winter Blast and then you have this tier 2 Icebreaker drop, you could combine these two together on an LMG, which is going to be very, very good if you do not have the Roaring Umbra. Minefield honestly could be pretty good. This could be good in certain situations, but I don't know. I would definitely stick with the Winter Blast for sure, or Brain Eater. rather. Honestly, I wouldn't death chains could be pretty good for sure, especially since you're already going to be spreading toxic vulnerability, you're going to be freezing enemies. Death chains would be really good for sure as a supplementary mod. Bone shrapnel could be pretty decent. Damage link, honestly, no, I would really go for death chains if you have it. Claymore is another really good mod for sure if you do not have Winter Blast. That's good AoE damage. And then honestly, tier 3, go ahead, pick your, I'll let you decide your tier 3 mods if you want. Also, I would totally say Killing Spree is pretty dope. And then honestly, our other weapon, I would say any fully automatic shotgun or an imploder. Imploder is really good whenever our anomaly power actually runs out. This thing has a lot of built-in damage with the mods alone on it, so this thing is useful in situations whenever we just got to get by as we're cooling down, which we don't ever go on cooldown too often, but when we do, sometimes we pull out our imploder, which is going to be pretty solid. But other than that though, guys, I'm pretty sure that's just about everything that we needed to go over. Focus on getting armor mods, any form that can get you anomaly power. Defensive mods is very useful in the end game. I went over just about everything, and I'm pretty sure that's just about all. Basically, get a good LMG. Any LMG with 100 clip size is going to be good. Anything north of that is going to be even better. Make sure you have the spare mag and you have the trick up the sleeve, bare minimum core for this build. And I would not recommend, honestly, the 40% healing whenever the Blight Rounds end mod that you can get. I honestly have not found that to be really all that useful, since the main gist of our, our entire build is not to run out of our Blight Rounds. So having a perk that only procs whenever we run out isn't really all that useful. So yeah, no pain, no gain. I wouldn't really roll with that. I'd probably try and find a different mod. So yeah, that's why we don't use it. Anyways though, guys, thank y'all so much for watching. I know this video is long, but I really wanted to explain a lot of stuff in the bases and the corners of our build, and I am very happy with how it turned out. Anyways though, guys, thank y'all so much for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe if y'all did enjoy the video. We do post daily Outriders content, and we got on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Anyways guys, my name's Kree. We'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.